Go first.
Like you'd set the tone well enough that today was just another day. Was there a bump up in intensity in terms
That
of
was our
game
first
week?
full day, and we were in pads because we were only in shells on Saturday, and today was a tough, hard physical practice for us.
But and did it feel different because it was the games here and this is kind of a game week practice?
It felt like every Monday of game week to us.
Okay.
How did it go?
It was good. It was good physical, good attention to detail. We got to get the tape. We still have to correct a lot of things, but we got a couple days left for practice, so they've got a pretty good grasp of the game plan. We just got to continue to execute it and practice it.
Coach, you talked about a lot about intensity. What was the intensity like today?
It was good. It was good. I was pleased with it.
Are you going to jack the heat up in there at any point this week? Prepared for?
Yeah, it was kind of hot today. I mean, we can't get it to crazy temperatures, but we'd be prepared if the roof is open. So
You expect it to be kind of warm and humid no matter what, even if the roof is closed?
I don't know. I mean, they've said we've heard a million different reports, so we just got to we'll deal with it. It won't affect us. I can guarantee you that.
Particular matchups that really have your attention this week?
No. I mean, it's a game of they're really, really good, and we have to match up. It's not like you can say, well, they're not good here, so, it's going to end up in this game. You really don't know, and especially in the opening game, they've lost players on defense, but they've replaced them with some good players, and it's the same thing for us. So there's a lot of, whenever you play an opening game, there's a lot of unknowns. When you look at the film, they don't have Patrick Peterson, but they got Claiborne and Matthew and those other guys and lost him back there. So obviously they lost a great one of them, but we lost Jeff Mail and we lost Drew Davis, and we've lost guys too. So sometimes there's a lot of unknowns when you play in an opening game because of the guys that have left the program on both sides of the ball, on both teams. So.
Is there ever enough time to prepare before an opener?
We never get into that. You just go with what your schedule is and play with it. I don't think you ever worry, do we have more time or can we have less time? We're playing September 3rd. We've been playing for September 3rd for a long time, so our schedule is set accordingly. So.
When they announced the suspensions, did you have to spend a couple of days this weekend refreshing yourselves on Lee or watch
No,
any different films?
He played a lot. I mean, he's played a lot in his career. So, you watch the Florida game. There's one game he let him back in a comeback victory for those guys. I think he's got 4 fourth-quarter comebacks in his career. So it's not like you're playing a guy that you don't have any tape on. We've got tape on Jared Lee, and he's a good football player. He's the son of a coach. He's thrown for over 2,600 yards in his career there. Started as a redshirted freshman before he got injured. So, he's played a lot of. I think he's played over 25, maybe 26 games or something, maybe higher than that. So he's played a lot of football for them. So we've got film on him. So.
You guys are hit.
How's Tune?
LT's done a real nice job, since last spring, really being the oldest guy and the leader of that group, and worked extremely hard in the offseason. His conditioning, maybe the best on the team for as much as our wideouts have to run all the time. He practiced every day, and in the spring he practiced every day in the fall, and he'll be the leader of our wide receiver corps.
You guys are headed to Dallas. Obviously, you've been to a lot of different stadiums. So are you interested to see the stadium? You heard a lot about it.
Well, I mean, I've heard about it, but we're playing the game on the field, so I know it's a great venue and we're excited to play there, but you really can't get caught up looking at the stadium itself. For us, it's making sure we concentrate, because from what I understand with the video board and some of the other things, it can be distracting, but we can't allow it to be a distraction for us.
You drop by there Friday night?
Yeah, we do that all the time, just like we did at Tennessee, and wherever we're going somewhere where it's noon, we'll go by and take it. We'll practice here, but we'll just walk through and take the stadium on Saturday. So normal schedule for us.
What's the rest of the week look like for you guys?
Same normal week. We got full pads tomorrow, and then practice on Wednesday, Thursday. We'll practice Friday morning, and then we're flying out. I think we leave at, I don't know what time we leave. Hawk will tell us, sometime around noon or something like that. So it's just a normal weekly practice schedule. So everything's the same we've always done, whether we're playing at home or away. The only difference is when we play away, we leave after practice and go to the airport and take off. If not, we would stay here and then reconvene later on that night. So we're on the same schedule, basically.
Les Miles was talking today about looking back on the title game. He felt like Auburn's defensive line gave you guys some issues, and that he feels like they've got a front that he hopes compares favorably. What do you think of their defensive front?
Their defensive front's good. They lost a real good player in Drake Nevis, but they've got all the other guys back, Montgomery and Mingo and Bakers and Adams, and they've got a young freshman in Johnson who came in for spring ball, and you're hearing a lot of good reports about them. But, when you're going to play LSU, they've been known for their front and their defense specifically, so that's what we anticipated going in, and they're good. That group is as good a front as we'll play against this year, so we understand. That's what our battle's going to be, is how do we handle that front.
I think your tempo obviously helps you so much, particularly as the season kind of wears on and other teams slow down, and your depth is helping you and your tempo is helping you. How do you make sure it's a real decisive advantage the first game?
We don't talk about it being a decisive advantage. It's just what we do. If it ends up being a byproduct, that's what works for us, and that's what works for us. You're going to play some teams that are in great condition and can handle it. And so be it. But we don't do it just for that sole reason. We do it because our offense gets in a rhythm. That's how we practice all the time. If you saw us standing over the ball for 30 seconds on every play, I think our guys would get a little disjointed too. So if it helps us in some other aspects, that's great. But it's really just a rhythm that we want to play in. So.
Who's going to return punts and kicks?
You'll see a couple guys back there, depending. Kenyon, Josh Huff, LaMichael. We've used Keenan Lowe back there a little bit. Depending on if we want to use a freshman, I don't know. We haven't made some final decisions on that, but we got some pretty good guys. I think Kenyon's as good a returner as there is in the country. We're just fortunate that we have Kenyon and Cliff, but Cliff's not available. So.
Chip, I might have missed this. Just wanted to ask a question about Darren. How much does it help him, do you think? He played in that national title game, a lot of big games last year, going in with all that experience in another big game.
I think it helps him just because, the one thing you can't manufacture in practice is game experience. And, he's the first quarterback since I've been here that's come back for year two. I had Dennis in 2007 and then with Jeremiah in 2008. And then, this is his second year playing. So, you really got a kid that's got some good real solid experience. Has been a starter. Jeremiah came in halfway through 08 to play and then played in 09, but Darren's going to have 2 full years. This will be his second full year, so it's not just the national championship game, it's all the games that he played in. And, you saw him get better and better as the season went along last year, and I hope he continues to show that type of progress. So it's got to benefit him.